Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a part 2 to a previous video that I did. I think a couple months ago I read 5-star reads of my favorite booktubers, and so this time we have a new set of booktubers and I'm going to show you their 5-star reads or their really highly beloved reads. The 3 that we're going to do in this video are LarryReads, Rachel Catherine, and A Clockwork Reader. I feel like Larry, she has a very different taste to me. She reads a lot more dark romances, and those compile her 5-star read list, but I didn't pick a dark romance for her book. Mine and Rachel Catherine's taste, I cannot say these booktubers people without their full name. I cannot not name drop them because I can't be oh, Rachel, I don't know her. She doesn't know me. She's always gonna be Rachel Catherine. And then A Clockwork Reader. I remember when I was heavily into my Shadowhunter phase, I watched a lot of her videos because she was the Shadowhunter girl on BookTube. For Larry's 5-star read that I picked out, it's Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. This is the first one we're doing because I've already started it because I had to read something last night and I was like, okay, I knew I was gonna do this video, so I'm just gonna start reading that. And then for Rachel Catherine's pick, we have the second book in the Infernal Devices trilogy. I watched the whole Shadowhunter show. I never really finished Mortal Instruments. I read Clockwork Angel. This is the first book, probably a few months ago, probably 5-ish months ago now. I feel it's so easy for me to get back into these worlds because I have the background knowledge of the Mortal Instruments, and it was just such a foundation block to my personality that I will never forget the Shadowhunter world. So I feel this is gonna be really easy. Well, I think the third one, the last one of this trilogy, is Rachel Catherine's favorite, and I saw her in her top 10 books of 2023. She mentioned the Infernal Devices trilogy. And then for A Clockwork Reader, my book that I chose for her is A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed. I wanted to read this book so badly when it first came out, and I just never gotten around to it. I don't know why. It's right up my alley. So we're finally gonna read that. I'm so excited. So those are our 3 books for our 3 booktubers. But right now, I'm reading Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. I'm 115 pages in. I'm 22% through the book right now. Not gonna say I hate it. Not gonna say I like it. It's a sports football romance set in college. I don't know who the main guy is. There's 2 so far, and there's one that's kind of been the forefront, and then there's one that I really want. there's the other guy that I really want to root for. We follow Ariana and her twin brother Mason, and then his friends Chase and Brady, I think, and then her best friend Cameron. Them 5, their parents are really close apparently, and then they have a beach house, and then because they're going to college, the parents gave them the beach house, and then the story starts out at the beach house. I was going to this thinking college, so I was waiting probably 100 pages. Now we're in the college. Now we're in the college setting, and so I was okay, that's weird. I don't like that pacing. I wish we were just I wish the beach was just pushed out. Something happened at the beach that they built up to it so much that it was it seemed so important. Didn't care. I was that's it. That's all that happened. That's the big thing that happened. Now that I'm finally in college, I feel the story is starting to actually take plot more, because I truly don't know who the main love interest is. But I swear to God, if Ariana ends up with one of the guys that I don't want, I'm gonna be really upset. I'm actually gonna give that the worst rating ever. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So we have our 3 books. I really hope I do like You Swear, but right now it's not looking too hot because I'm just very angry. I just read through 100 pages. There's 400 left. Our main goal was to finish Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. Let's go. Whoops. I'm 68% done with it. I'm on page 371. Oh, something just happened, and that's why I had to stop, because I was I have to get my reaction, because something just happened, came out of left field. Would never have expected this to happen, but it's just such a Wattpad thing to happen too, so it really got me. I started laughing so hard. It was so funny. I just finished chapter 36, so if you know and you want to go check what happened, I was whoa. I got a new one, a cherry one, so cute. Matches the red in the sweatshirt. I have to say, I swear, I told you we follow Ariana and her twin brother makes it. They're in college. I told you how like once we got to college, I feel like things started really picking up. Oh, so there is a relationship. I'm just gonna say it. It's with Noah, and I feel like he's the better option out of the two. So we have Noah, and then her like childhood best friend, Chase. She's been in love with Chase for a long time, and then something happened, and then she's like, I don't like him anymore, basically. So Noah Riley, he's the quarterback, but I thought her brother was the quarterback, so maybe I'm just like not going too into the sports, but like I was like, okay, that's the only like position I know, that and like wide receiver or something like that. There is a bunch of football talk, and so Ariana and her friend Cameron, they watch the football game and then they like commentate like in the book. They're like, oh my god, football just happened, and I'm like, there's nothing in my head, like I cannot picture that. So like dock points for that. Hate the football talk, even though it's a football sports romance. Hate it. Boo. There are some cringe lines. I think I have one. One of them was when they described like Noah's tattoo. He has a football goal on his shoulder, and then it leads into his chest. And so there's a goal line in a football that looks like it's tearing from inside his skin, but it's script curved along the threading lines of the ball calls to me. It's foreign, Latin, maybe, beautifully scrolled. Like there's just a football goal, a football and like Latin on it. I could not get over that. That was so good. That was so funny to me. It's going by very fast, which is good on my half. I feel like reading these books takes me no time. I feel like I fly by them, and like I enjoy some of them, but like I haven't had like a romance book that I've like loved in so long. I'm gonna read. So what? This did not. Oh, this book. Oh my god. I've never felt this type of roller coaster in my life reading a book. It's not like emotional roller coaster. It's like, oh my god, I'm like getting whiplash. Like I'm getting smacked back and forth with these plot twists. Hi guys. I've just finished Say You Swear by Megan Brandy, I think. After what happened, and I literally just got smacked in the face with like plot twists and stuff like that, never would have guessed this happening, but it's truly so Wattpad coded. Like this is the outline of a Wattpad like book. You know, you just know, like if you know, you know. Like back to what I was saying, I'm giving this a 3 stars because I truly just can't get over how dragged out the first 100 pages were for a setting that we're really not like. I guess it like establishes how important this is, but like I felt like if you could have just like, added that it was really important in less than 100 pages, I would have like followed along. I would have been fine with it. Another docked it down because it was very cringe a lot of the time, especially after the 70% mark, where like stuff where it just went wild. Everyone just could not communicate. There was no communication. Everyone acted like babies. They acted like not even 12-year-olds, because that's an insult to 12-year-olds. I think they acted like 5-year-olds. Like they just did not want to talk to each other. They wanted to withhold and lie. Also, the ending epilogue. What happens in the ending epilogue? Absolutely insane. Like he's 21 years old, and then she's like, whoa, she's like 18, 19, because she's just getting into school. Yeah, it's her first year. Oh my god, I truly didn't compute that age difference. Also, I hate one character. I don't know how they can continue to be friends. I hate Chase. I'm just gonna say it. I'll flat out say it. That's a spoiler. It's a spoiler. I don't care. I doubt any of you are gonna read this book because of my reaction, but there's that. I think that covers all the points. Hate Chase. They're babies. Did not know how to communicate. Slapped in the face with a plot twist. And cringe lines. Yeah, 3 stars. I'm never gonna remember this experience afterwards. My memory is so bad. So if it doesn't like truly like sink into my soul, there's not much of a chance. There's not much of a chance, let's be for real. It might look a little darker, but I'm doing my Notion like review. I've realized I just didn't talk about some stuff that I feel like. I didn't really talk about the writing in my other clip, and I don't think it was like anything bad, but it wasn't anything good per se. I remembered some cringe sayings. So there was a bunch of like brother and sister that I told you about, but there was also an excessive use of baby. That was like the pet name of choice. Ariana as a character, she wasn't the worst, but she just like, it felt like she had no backbone, especially when it came to a different character. You could tell that she was like in a relationship. She really cared about Noah, and then she just let this stuff happen. You know what I mean? Like, she didn't let it happen, but like she wasn't a reassuring girlfriend a lot of the time. I was like, okay, Ariana, like, what? Noah, he did some cringe, like he had some cringe sayings, but like he was really into her, and like honestly he was a little too much into her sometimes. Like he was like, my whole life's gonna fall apart. Like, okay, like you met this girl a semester ago. He was very mature, probably because he is 21, but like he was very mature when it came to this one situation with Ariana. Honestly, Noah's doing a good job. Like he's really like manning it down. Honestly, he was like too reliant on her and then he was literally about to throw away his whole future for her, and that really never got glossed over again. But I remember, like, I thought like I thought how the book was gonna end is like he pulls through with that one thing he was gonna do that was gonna ruin his future and then become something else. It was actually insane. I'm so glad that did not happen. Like, I wouldn't put it past the author to do that and make that happen, but I'm glad it didn't happen. Something else about the writing, like we go through probably 350 pages of this book only having one POV virtually. We're only in Ariana's point of view. We're only hearing Ariana's thoughts. And then 350, almost 370 pages in, this becomes a dual POV book. Like, we're in the POVs very, like POV, which is very sloppy in my opinion. Like, if we were gonna have dual POV for the last 130 pages, I would have liked dual POV for the whole book. But I can't really get too mad because Megan Handy was like, at the end of the author's note, she was like, this took 5 years. And I was like, okay, maybe her writing style changed in those in that time period. And she was like, I do enjoy writing dual POV books more. Okay, that's my rant over. 3 stars still. Next, I'm going to read A Clockwork Angel's 5-star read, one of her favorite books of 2023, which is A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed. I've been wanting to read this for so long. Don't remember what this book is about. I think it's like a library. Like, this girl is babysitting a library for this one famous author that she really loves, and then there's another guy that comes in here and he doesn't like the author, and she's like, how can you not like him? And then that's all I really remember about the premise or like what I was told. I know Sarah Caroli, she was like, oh, this is kind of like a River Enchanted type of style, and I loved a River Enchanted, so I'm just holding out that I like this. I told you guys how I was supposed to read A Clockwork Prince. Just didn't want to read it. At the second. I don't want to hold a physical book. I just want to read on my Kindle. Oh my god, Wildcat by Rebecca Genshot. Flashback to the old video. I'm gonna go on my Notion, do my little monthly wrap-up thing, and then I'm gonna start A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed. Look how comfy cozy I am today. You saw this? This is No Guns at the Dinner Table Daisy hates, and then some sweatpants. But I love these sweatpants. I love these sweatpants. I want to drink. I'm just so thirsty. But I don't want to drink water. I want to drink a fun drink. Let's do a fun drink right now. I had coffee and I had another sparkling water drink. B-cup. Oh. Okay, I actually gotta do work. Bye guys. Bye guys. Hi guys. It is Wednesday. I started A Study in Drowning Monday. Oh, I feel like I've been reading this for so long. So I'm on chapter 16. I feel like I'm not enjoying it as much as I was expecting to enjoy it. I don't really remember what like drew me in so intently that I was like, oh my god, I feel like I'm gonna love this story. One thing that I think has been hindering the experience while reading it, I don't know why I was like so stressed and thinking that I was reading this so slowly, but I started audiobooking some parts of it, like some chapters, probably like 3 or 4 chapters. I was listening to the audiobook, and I have to have my audiobooks at like 2 times speed or more, but I feel like they're going at like a pace that I need. I just don't think I'm retaining this information, and I don't think I like the narration of this audiobook in like specifically. I have nothing against the narrator, I just don't like, I don't know, I'm just not like into it. All these like things are getting glossed over my head, so like that's why. And then I go back onto like actually reading it, and I'm like a little lost sometimes, but then I'm also like not that engaged in the storyline. Effie is our main character. Effie is in the like architecture like portion of the college, and she really wants to be in like the literature college, but the literature college does not take women. She's also the only girl in the architecture college. There's like this competition to design a manor slash house for her favorite now deceased author's family. I know what the book's trying to do, and it's doing it, but while also doing it, I feel like I should be a little bit more invested and entertained. Yeah, so spoiler alert, she gets the thing, she gets the gig, and there Effie meets this guy named Preston, and they're kind of like rivals because he's in the literature college and he's there to write his like thesis on the author. He does not like the author that much, and Effie adores the author, the deceased author. They navigate that. There is big conversations about like men's power in academia, especially in this, because you can see it so intently with Effie as a character being in male dominated sectors of her academic life, and like how much power men hold over her. So that's a very big like topic in this book, and I think it's really well done. But like other than that, like the lore, the folklore tales and like myths and stuff like that regarding like the author, his stories, I just don't really care, which is something I wasn't really expecting. I don't think it's gonna be like lower than like a 3, but I'm in 3 territory. I think I'm going to finish it tonight and then sleep on it, watch some things like TikToks. I think I am going to finish it tonight. I only have 2 chapters left. Those are my thoughts so far. I'll do my final thoughts, my final ranking in a different clip. I just like looked at other people's reviews of Studying and Drowning, and I feel like one really like caught my attention. I did rewatch A Clockwork Reader's like kind of like her like talking about this book in her top 10 books of 2023, and I understand like why people really love it. I just think it fell flat to me a little bit. I also watched Gina Reed's review, and then the reason I really wanted to read this book was Emma Sky's. Like I told you, I think the way that Ava Reed like wrote the theme of women being taken advantage of in academia and in like the real world and stuff like that, and like how men have such a power over women, and like how they like explored that in the book. I thought it was really well executed. Regarding the characters, Gina Reeds said this perfectly. I felt like I did not know these characters. We spend basically almost 400 pages reading about Effie and Preston. There's like one little like story about Preston's like previous life, and then Effie, we're given sprinkles with her like connecting to her favorite author's like story, and how she like expresses herself through those books, and she really sees herself like in those stories. See her home life a little bit, but like her as a character, I feel like I didn't really see much. I feel like it focused on like how these stories, like how she took them and like how she integrated that into her life, and how her life reflects those stories. Basically there was not much to her, so I just liked her fine. Like I think both of them as characters were like okay characters. There's nuance in how they're written, but I feel like I would have liked a more personal touch and like to like actually connect to the characters. Other than that, I really liked the little romance in here. I think it was so cute. I felt like that's where it showed their personality a little bit more, but it was just like one side of their personalities, like just them caring for each other and stuff like that. I talked to you about the audiobook situation. I feel like that really like hindered the experience for me, because now I feel like I didn't get as much of the folklore as I wanted. Like I didn't get it as much because I feel like I didn't absorb that information. But like I guess one of these like things in the book, and I feel like maybe like it was just like something that was so easily seen 50 pages, and I was like, I bet this is gonna happen. I don't know if like it was supposed to catch me off guard, or if it was like supposed to be like, oh yeah, this is obvious, but like because it was so obvious to me that I felt like annoyed a little bit within the book. I felt like it was dragging on too long, especially with like different plot points, just to find out what I know already in the first 50 pages. Other than that, it was fine. I'm giving it a 3.5. Like I liked how Ava Reed like explored the theme within the book, especially in like this academic setting. But like other than that, like I wasn't really connected to the storyline. I didn't really care. I knew what was gonna happen. I wasn't like invested as much because I just called it. Now it's time to read A Clockwork Prince. This is the second book in the Infernal Devices. I truly don't remember what happened in the first book of the Infernal Devices. I know what happens to one of these characters because I've watched the show. I just know, like from my time in the fandom, I just know. But I want to know how this like love triangle plays out. But I do want some like angst in this. Like I want to like feel something because I don't want to just go in and read about like them like fighting demons. Like I just don't really care about that right now. I want to go in for the character like development and like character relationships. So I hope I get that from this. We're gonna start that right now, and that's the last book of this video. So hey guys, it is Friday. I've been reading Clockwork Prince. I started this yesterday. I'm on page 200, like 208. I'm hoping to get to 350 by the end of tonight. I don't know how plausible that is. At least 300 today, but I'm shooting for 350. One thing about the book so far, truly don't remember what happens in the first book, and then I'm glad that like sprinkles of it are getting re-brought up back in here so I remember it. I remember like the bigger plot, but like sometimes I think for like character like details I'm not really remembering it. One thing that I was wanting really badly, like character like development and like seeing those relationships play out, I'm getting that, and I'm really loving it. Now that I'm like really getting attached to those relationships, and like I knew everyone loved them, but like I understand why they love them now. I'm so scared to see what actually happens to all of them, because I know what happens to one of them loosely. It's good so far. I'm really liking it. So far we haven't like, there's like a plot that we have to go to, but like plot, it's not really plotting. The whole thing itself is high stakes, but I feel like we're not really like leading into like, oh my god, we have to do this by this day, and I'm like yeah, you guys should really get on that. Like we've got no time to waste. So that's my thoughts. Earlier today I was in the library, and then I was reading. Also, I was watching Sarah Caroli's new video. I feel like this is such a good time to like name drop them, because this is also a booktubers video. So I feel like if you're here, you know if you're here. She did like finding a 5-star read, and she was reading the new Magnolia arc. While watching that, I was like, oh my god, I can't, like I'm thinking about BJ and Magnolia. I was in public, my eyes were welling up with tears. I was listening to music after I watched the video, and I was like still thinking about BJ and Magnolia. And Happiness by Taylor Swift came up. Yep, that happened. And then I came home, took out all the Magnolia Parks books, and I was going through The Long Way Home, and I took so many like pictures of the quotes, and I was just going through all the tabs, and I was like, oh my god, this is insane. I like reading through those quotes and literally me having to sob after that. Crazy how much like this like affects my life, you know what I mean? There's our updates. I still have to keep reading. I'm hoping to finish this by Sunday. That's my goal. Hi guys, it's Saturday. I actually finished Clockwork Prince last night. I finished it Friday night. Like the last time I talked to you, I was on like page 200, and I was like, I'm gonna get to 350, stopped at 400, and then finished the last 100 pages later. I don't know if it's the world or Cassandra Clare's writing, but being in the Shadowhunter world, it's like so cozy to me. Like I don't know, I think I know why I'm like never like caught off guard that much in this like series in general, is because I know what happens to their families. Like I know what happens to their family names later on, and I know that the Shadowhunter world like exists after this. So it's not, I'm not like, oh my god, what's happening, blah 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 blah, you know what I mean? Maybe that's like a false sense of security, and then I just hold on to that false sense of security. I'm like, yeah, I know what happens to these people. I don't know what happens to these people, but I know what happens to the future of their whole existence. So I'm not like, oh my god, this is crazy. Loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. I don't know, like, you saw me crying. When my expectations going into this, I was like, I really want to know more about the characters themselves. I didn't really care about the plot that much. Got exactly that. We like look into Jem, Tessa, and Will's life so much, and we like learn so much about them as characters, especially Will. This was such a Will heavy book. The book has to be like, it has to hit me a certain way for me to like underline and annotate, but it got me. Page 65. Just the way he said her name undid her, loosened something tight and knotted underneath her rib cage, making her breathless. And then I underlined that. That was like, I think what started the underlining. And I said, this is so BJ Magnolia coded. Like, yesterday was in my BJ Magnolia field. I went through annotations of that book later on, like I told you. And I'm also in my How's the Weather Park shirt. Sue me. But yeah, I loved learning about all the characters a lot more, especially Will. But like, honestly, if you don't know anything going into this, this is like, how do I explain this? In this world, there's like vampires, warlocks, fairies, and like other like demonic like creatures. Those are downworlders. And then there's also these like this other species, the Nephilim, which are like half angel creatures. And so they're the Shadowhunters, and they like fight all the demons. Okay. In the Shadowhunter world, there is the Shadowhunters, and then there's the Downworlders, and then there's also like this like amalgamation called the Clave, and that's like the overruling thing, so they like make laws. But Shadowhunters, they go for demons and not Downworlders. That's their shtick. These Shadowhunters have institutes within like different cities. Like there's one in London, the one we're set in. There's one in New York, Madrid, all those like different types of cities. Our main character, Tessa, I don't know how she gets to London, but she's from America, gets intertwined within the Shadowhunter world, and that's where she meets the London Institute. So we have Charlotte, Henry, Jessamine, Sophie, Will, Jem. Oh, we also have Magnus. Magnus Bane is in here! I love like reading about these character relationships. Also, the Infernal Devices is like very famous for their love triangle. It's famous for a reason. Like, I was like, I'm not like a love triangle girl. Like, I just like, I don't care. And like, normally when there is a love triangle, I like have a favorite. No team. I don't know who I love. Like, I don't know. They're both like, ugh. So I'm really into this. So I'm giving this a 4.5. I was gonna put it a 4.25, and then I was like, why would I do that? Like, I love the relationship so much. And like, I just loved how like this book, we could have focused on the plot a little bit more, but like I didn't want to. I love this one so much, I'm like going straight into the next one, which is something I don't really do as much now, but like I feel like I only had one book left, so I could just knock it out. And that's the end of the video. We read some of my favorite booktubers 5-star reads, or like favorite books, stuff like that. For Larry Reads 5-star read, I read Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. I gave that one a 3 stars. You heard my thoughts on that. It's a middle of the line book for me. There were some things that were cute, like some moments that were cute, but I really focused on like the irks I had with it. But honestly, it was a fine book. The plot twists were insane in that book, but like I feel like no one talks about like those plot twists that I was not expecting. I was like, oh man, this is just a football college romance. It was that, but it was a little more. Next, I read A Studying Jenny for A Clockwork Reader's favorite book. This was in her 2023 favorite books of the year. This is like number 3 or something like that. I gave that one a 3.5. You also heard my review on that. I just wanted a little bit more from the characters. I feel like I didn't really know Effie or Preston. Something I really didn't expect was not caring about the folklore, which is something like, I don't know, like sometimes I'm into it, sometimes I'm not, and I just wasn't really caring about it. I also called what was gonna like happen at the end, and I was like, I felt like since I knew it so intently, I was like, this is definitely the answer, like there's no other way it could go. I felt a little bored going through the rest of the book, especially because it was like such a dragged out thing, and like I felt like they were idiots if they didn't know. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, are you for real? But I liked the themes of that book. Lastly, I read Clockwork Prince by Cassandra Clare. This is for Rachel Catherine's favorite book. It's not her, I don't know if this is her favorite book. I think the last one's her favorite book out of the series, and this is her favorite series. Like, okay, I just picked it. I'm sorry. I know she loves the series, so I read it. Okay, I gave this one a 4.5. This is the highest one. Oh my god, this is the highest one. This just brought me back. It brought me back. I can understand why people love this one so much more than the Mortal Instruments. Yeah, this one's way better than the Mortal Instruments. Cassandra Clare's chapters, excruciatingly long. 30 pages sometimes. I'm like, okay girl, what's this? So there's my one gripe about this book. I love learning about Will, Tessa, and Jem a lot more, especially since the first book I read so long ago. I like I like going back into the characters so I can care about the characters and what happens to them and like in plot wise, you know what I mean? Thanks Rachel Catherine. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below some other booktubers that I should look into and read their 5-star reads. I have another set of them that I know and I've written down their 5-star reads that I'm gonna read, but comment down below any people that you wish you want me to read their 5 stars. So like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.